you touched on it that you're a new band for Earache. How did that come about?
I think what's interesting right off the bat is, over the years, we have obviously, when we put out a new record, even though we were an independent band, there was always a few labels that we would, send a press pack to, every couple of years, every time we did a new record, trying to get, attention of a few labels. And people online would always say, oh, well, Woods of Ypres, you guys should be signed to, this or that label, because they had, bands that were similar to us already. And Earache, I think, is a label that, I could be wrong, but I don't have any recollection of me sending anything to them over the years, because I guess I had always assumed that they wouldn't be interested in us, because of what we do and what Earache usually does, in that extreme kind of death metal, noise, grind, thrash revival thing. It's certainly not us.
Right.
So then when we were getting ready to hit the road, we had interest from, again, just maybe like a few unnamed labels that are big that everybody knows, who had expressed some interest in us before we hit the road. And I think a few of them still were maybe interested in us, but also were really hesitant. And then we hit the road on this tour last summer. And then we played 30 plus dates in North America just independently, and then we happened to play in New York City at a club called the Bowery Electric, and we finished our set. It was a really good show. By that time it was like the last quarter of the tour, and we were just firing it off on the stage, like really hot every night. And so as soon as I was stepping off stage, then Al Dawson, who's the head guy at Earache USA, walked up and introduced himself. And I had never met him before, but I recognized his name, and he gave us his card and said that Earache would be interested to talk to us. So he said, finish your tour and then give us a call when you get home. So we were excited about that. We gave him some merch, and then we finished our tour. And then in August, they had provided us with an offer, and we kind of took our time with it. We looked at it. We negotiated the deal a little bit, and but at the time, I had already accepted that teaching job in the Middle East, like since the previous January.
Right. So
we were in a situation where we weren't sure whether this Earache deal was going to go through or not. So then what I decided to do was to still go out and start that teaching job, because I didn't want to risk not bailing on the teaching job, and then maybe the deal falls through and then I'm 0 for 2,
Right.
So then I went out there, and then from there we really had some bargaining power, because it's like I really did go out to the Middle East and kind of start a new job and a new life, and then kind of sit on the couch in my apartment with my arms crossed, and kind of talking with them, saying, if you want me to come home and do this, like it has to be worth our while. And they were happy to show us that it was. And we had a lot of dialogue go back and forth, and then it was someone at Earache who just kind of wrote to me to say, you just need to kind of make up your mind to what you want to do. Like, do you want to be out there and teaching, or do you want to come home and do this? So the choice was easy for me. So
Right.
That was October. I put my notice in October. I was back in Canada by the end of December, and then we started with Earache January 1st.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
It's
dude.
Pretty fast and pretty stressful, I'm sure.
Yeah, and you know what? Like, I really had to be strategic over there, because, I'm over there and I'm teaching. But I mean, not only did nobody know kind of who I was or what I was doing over there, but also, like, music is completely, music, especially of that kind, is completely haram, as they say, completely forbidden.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I kind of had to be strategic, and I waited until my probation period at my school was over, and I waited till they did my evaluations and things, and then they were happy for me to stay. And at which meeting I then announced that actually I'm gonna leave. But I mean, they have people who bail in the middle of the night there. So I think as long as you kind of put your notice in and say, hey, I'm going to leave this job at the end of 2 months, they like that better than you just take your passport and the clothes on your back and you go to the airport and you just leave, you know, because that happens too. But I'll admit, though, it was pretty stressful those last 2 months there because, you know, they sure aren't happy with you that you're bailing on the job, and you know, so you do, you know, they don't make it easy for you. So it was pretty stressful those last 2 months in Kuwait. But me really looking forward to then coming back, not only just to come back to Canada and some familiarity and to, you know, to be able to drink again and everything, because I mean, you know, skin and sex and music and, you know, beer and anything, you know, awesome that I love in life is completely forbidden there, which is part of the experience and maybe part of the allure. At the time that I decided to go there, I was in a Kuwait mood, and I really, you know, I didn't care. I wanted to go experience that, but having done it for less than 5 months, I thought, that's it, man. I'll never do that again. Yeah, and now we're back, and now we're doing it. So
and now you're back. You can grow your beard again.
Yeah, well, what's really funny is I'm in the process of kind of possibly trying to grow my hair out long again, maybe one more time, and but then just wanting to do something different. I totally have a, you know, black metal Muslim beard happening right now. You know, shave the mustache down, and I just have this, you know, Muslim beard. So that'll be my look for this tour.
Very nice.
Yeah.
Will your time in Kuwait kind of reflect lyrically on the next album, do you think?
You know, I had the idea in my mind that I think with going there, I thought that there was something I was going to do, but really, it's one of those experiences you can prepare for it all you want before going there, but it isn't until you're there in the first maybe like 24 hours that you completely restructure all your thinking about what that experience is going to be like. And so for me, I got there, and I mean, it was a really, you know, intense environment and a really intense job, and I brought a guitar out there with me, imagining that, you know, they kind of say stuff like, if you have a hobby, bring it out there because it'll keep you sane, or it'll keep you, you know, preoccupied on your time off, so you don't kind of go crazy. I brought a guitar out there, and I might have picked it up a couple times, but was so kind of busy with just the job itself that a time came where I retired all possibility of me, you know, making any music out there. So really, I was just out there working on the job, and sometimes not even being social at all, just kind of you know, keeping your head above water in that environment, and I mean, trying to do a good job naturally.
Right.
And that's basically what I did. And then when I announced that I was leaving, you know, that was the thing, is saying, just like any other job, you know, you want to leave on good terms, and you still want to, you know, letter recommendation and everything. So I kind of said, well, I'm at your service for the next 2 months. Whatever you'd like me to do to kind of wrap this up so it's easiest transition for you, I'll do. So I mean, everything, you know, ended amicably, and but I certainly didn't make any music there, and even then it's hard to believe that I was even there at all, because now I'm back and now I'm in this mode. So to me, it just seems like it was just like I just have these you know, few visions in my memory, but it was kind of hard to believe that I was there at all. I think with this next record, we have more of I think we're more focused just on, you know, what Woods of Ypres is all about, and maybe less